You visiting somebody around here? You know, wearing that flag on that jacket, looking the way you do, you're asking for trouble around here, friend.
Nice pre-programming. Anyways, if you go and look in the moon notes, you will see that the collar is right here. Do I think we get there? Yes. Do I think it's later? Yes. The bottom, or some people might say mid collar, is right here. Okay, so as you see, this is a huge level. That is that major crash and bounce. For us to have a ripping rally into next July, we need to go back test this at some point. The collar says we go back to this zone before the end of the year. Okay, to sell down there from here, something needs to break. Do I think it's war? No. And if you are worried about the Middle East, it's just a game. Okay, it's not even the oil trade. Okay, why? As I've said, I used to trade oil only. This is not the oil trade. Okay, if you think that your emotions are not free and you're just being a keg right now, I'll get to that later. So you have this weekly high here. You have a retest. Friday into close we rallied. 9 times out of 10 that continues on Monday. Monday we have early high, possible rally. If we gap down, it's a straight line drop and you're going to very quickly find yourself down here, because we still have that 561 SPY ghost candle. Tuesday early high, Wednesday early low, Thursday early high, possible trend change on Friday. I posted all of these in the full moon circle chat room like I usually do. Okay, and I would just recommend everyone who wants to capitalize on the volatility and craziness of this Q4 and Q1, you still have time. Watch the moon landing trading course. Okay, I put my brain and everything I've learned into it. Okay, the tab to it is under the chat. Nevertheless, what's gonna happen next week? Well, I think that the market, if you look here, these are weekly candles. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so within 3 weeks, you should have a sizable dip. If you look at the stow here, I think we reach this stow, then we go down to here. Okay, reason being, I think tech earnings needs to save the market. How are tech earnings going to save the market? If you remembered last earnings, every single one of these tech companies, almost across the board, 90%, had decent earnings but guided down. That was the trend. Okay, I think this time they are going to possibly guide up. If not, then definitely in Q1. The reason I'm saying that is you need America to come through here hard. Why? Because BRICS, and this is the oil trade, listen to me right now, BRICS have their summit October 22nd through the 24th. Okay, why is this important? Well, in my opinion, this is the October surprise. We'll see if I'm right or not. But the BRICS summit, here's the dates. There you see. Okay, I already know, because I look into this, but no one wants to talk about it, that they are coming up with their own currency. right? On the blockchain, they're gonna trade oil. If you don't know about the BRICS nations, please look into it. Basically, you have all these nation states in it, and the question is, do they have anything culturally or religious wise in common? No, they are strategic nations to take over what the West sits on as far as the new grid. Why do you think Brazil is in BRICS? Well, they have lithium. Okay, as an example. What has more lithium than all of Africa that the West has used until now? North Carolina. You awake yet? So, you need to look out for yourself. Now, on Friday, we pulled the record trade of 2,346% on these JPM contracts. Now, granted, I didn't feel as hard as I had in the past, but still rode it all the way. You see this trend line? Now look, clearly this has coiled for either a major move or an absolute failure. I do not think that the banks fail pre-election earnings on Friday. Okay? Earnings season kicks off on Friday. Now, I will be again attempting this. Okay, so this is one possible play. I'll be looking at 0.4 contracts, meaning 4-cent contracts. I'll be looking at them into CPI. Why is this important and relevant? This is important and relevant because this will probably be the last inflation report to look like the Fed has any idea of what they're doing, unless Trump gets in and pulls those rates down. Okay, now CPI is Thursday. Remember, the FOMC, the reaction has been good. We have not gone back to test the FOMC line since we had FOMC. The 21 is through. Look at this daily stow. You cannot go wrong with it. Main reason I swung calls. Some people call this a hangman. I call this a hammer. Do I think this week we go down and test 568? Yes. If we do so into CPI, I will be buying a shit ton of calls. Again, shit ton of calls. There's your doji on Thursday. Boom. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if we put an all-time high in early next week, then come down, retest this, and push higher. Friday, I have a possible trend change. At that point, I would like to base and come down. I don't want to see us drop through here. Do I think an Iran-Israel war that no one wants besides Lindsey Graham and all the other freaking praying congressmen, nobody wants it. Nobody's interested. Even European leaders are like, nah, dog, we're not doing it. So after Netanyahu's speech, video speech today, where he was dogging on the French president, who's buddies with Trudeau and likes, you know what, Iran said, if you touch us, we're going to... Here's the problem. There's enough dudes in the Middle East and the Iranian army to walk across the border and flatten the place. Okay? Like, unless that happens, and the point is to go to 478 here, it's not happening now. Okay? In my opinion. Otherwise, Oxy would be sniffing 70. And yes, is this bullish? Sure. But unless you can get over this point of control, you can still play it in the 55 to 60 range. But for Oxy to make a big turnaround and crack 60. If that happens, I'm in it. Then we're gonna get legs. But before that happens, I mean, we've gotten buy signals before it goes up a little bit, but the magic level for Oxy is really 63, as you know from prior years. So just like, that's not it. That's not it. I think the October surprise, if anything, is a complete decoupling from the dollar by BRICS. Because if BRICS says, okay, great, and I don't want to sound, like I'm dogging on the dollar here, but here's a fact that is undisputed. If you are Chinese and you're looking at possibly 8 years of Trump, you're gonna play ball. If you're Chinese and you've spent the last 4 years tactically positioning yourself, you're fine with 4 years of Trump. That's the difference here, okay? Coming from a guy who does not want to live in 4 years of this shit that we're going through right now, because nobody likes that. So we're still under a death cross on the dollar, but look at this stow here. I mean, come on. Then there's a fundamental problem with the whole rate cuts, and that is that the 10-year yield has only gone up since. Now, anybody screaming stock market crash this week, it would be the first time we have a stock market crash where the VIX starts off at 19, okay? So you have a 3-day top range here. I wouldn't be surprised if this also comes down. So this week I still think up. Then I would welcome a dip into tech earnings that are end of October. The finale is obviously Nvidia. Okay, I still don't have flow trade, but I got everything else, and it sure paid on Friday and was absolutely marvelous and beautiful. Now the NAMO, and this is very, very interesting. Looks like, hey, we just had a pullback through time. Let's rip. Okay, fantastic. So I do have a trend change on Friday as of right now. Best case scenario, we go even higher. At some point late October, we're gonna have a dip, and we've been in this chop program now for quite a few days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. Okay, so usually I'd be like, we're gonna sell, but the chart itself is very bullish. Now let's go over the individual stocks here. What do we got going? Well, we have Prime Day next week. This thing looks absolutely ready to rock and roll. I'll be taking some Amazon exposure. That's one. McDonald's at highs. However, they're coming up with the McChicken same day as the whole Tesla thing. Okay, great. What does that mean? Well, it could be a nice short, or you're gonna be looking at a breakout. Okay, here's the daily. You're gonna be looking at a breakout here. Why? It's curling. It's got room to do it. So that's another play I'll be looking at. All right, here's another play. I have a Tesla ghost candle to 297.5. Okay, now Tesla is obviously not gonna have earnings next week, but the week after that. How am I gonna play this with robo-taxi event and everything? I think I'm looking at this daily stow here. It's ready to rock soon. It's holding here. I'm gonna play it how you want. I am going to buy myself some time, and I'm going in the money. Okay, reason being, I would rather pay a little bit more and have a steady flow rather than keep fighting and day trading $10 Tesla days up and down and up and down. So that's another play I'll be playing. Okay, so McDonald's, Amazon, Tesla. JPM, I already told you about. Nvidia, I swung at the money. Why? Because we are really, really close to having a fake breakout of this. I think we break out come down probably into earnings. We still have that 117 ghost candle. I would really like if this breaks out here and comes down. Obviously, it doesn't have to come down. Then that ghost candle is just a print. But I think there's a good chance that, knowing that everybody's loading these chips, that earnings on the 14th of November is gonna be a huge tech rally catalyst, and we will get all-time highs on this thing. Okay, why? Well, I've told you my price target of 150, and even if we get 145, I think that's good enough. Look at this, you got a inside week with the stow here. This shit's going higher. Why? It needs to. Okay, look what Meta did. Obviously, we caught Meta on Friday and it was like an insane move. Look at these weekly candles. Look where the stow was. It was down here. Okay, great. So we were sub 500 when the stow was rocking down here if you compare it to Nvidia. Okay. What's the difference? Okay, glasses. Great. Well, Nvidia is about to release their chip. Excuse me. Sometimes I sneeze when I look at the shit show because I'm allergic to it. That's why I can read it so good. All right, what else? Nancy Pelosi's husband bought uranium for $80 million last week. Okay, I told you a week ago that where were we a week ago? We were down here. I told you this fucker is going to 18. Now we're at 11. Swing it. Why? Look at the weekly. It'll tell you. Oh shit. Still has room to go. Yeah. Then he'll make a cup, come back, and then absolutely explode next year. Why? Because of the whole AI thing. Okay? Just because AI hasn't been all over the news as the next big thing, do not think for a second that they don't want that lithium in those mines. So if you're buying shares, buy lithium stock, obviously PLL. Okay, and I know I watched the Trump Elon rally today in Butler, and that was fantastic. Who do you think benefits the most from lithium mining in the United States? Especially when you're putting out a robo-taxi fleet and all those Optimus robots. Just saying. Facts. Okay. Caught Boeing on Friday. I don't know if this has legs. To me, this looks more like a solid first bounce from a bottom. Maybe wait for it to come down, and it'll go again. Basically, play the stow, because if you play the stow, even on a weekly thing here, let's take. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. I go over that in the moon landing trading course. It's a huge part of trading. Okay, UPST, very, very nice Friday. Let's look at the daily. Okay, still has room to go. This fucker basis Monday, Tuesday, banks could go really crazy here soon. I mean, let's see what those earnings show on Friday. It can either be the downturn of the market or it's going to go up. Now, Apple had some nice action last week. Looks like it wants to base a little bit. Also has earnings. So we're coming into tech earnings. I don't think they're going to be shit. I think they're going to be the ones to send SPY higher up. So we've just made this weekly cup. Let's push a little higher, come down a couple of weeks, and then push higher. The only question mark for me is, why does the collar show us coming all the way down here? And something could happen. We could actually have a full-out war, or we could have some other thing we haven't thought about that brings us down. How do we get there? It's gonna be a huge 4-5 day sell. So once you see a candle down like this, do know you haven't missed it. Just wait a little bit and it'll come. When that happens, buy that freaking dip. Even if it costs you and you buy 2-3 weeks in the money, you will make a lot of money. Hopefully I've been able to show you guys my thoughts here and the stocks I'm looking at. Hopefully we'll get Flow Trade back next week. I just wanted to showcase to you before that look, this is the last 5 days of puts and calls. Okay, and I was even told, oh man, that's just call selling. No, bro. Somebody is absolutely loaded to the teeth. Are they gonna undercut everybody that front loads the Santa rally? Yeah, of course. That can just be triggered by news algos, okay? But at the end of the day, we stick with the GEX, we day trade. If we see some nice swings with some major ghost candles, great, we'll take them, okay? I'm always looking at all this stuff, and I mean, Friday was pretty simple. You get green convergence, the market net flow is going higher. There's no question about it, right? So I'll be in there every day this week. Big catalyst is obviously FOMC minutes, 10-year note auction, and Thursday CPI. Now this CPI in particular will be hot. I mean, full of hot fucking air. That doesn't mean it can't come in close to their target. How? I'm just asking this. How are we down? How are we down like this when actual inflation is rising? The same way we created jobs on Friday. I will not only eat my beard, I'll put salad dressing on it and eat my beard if those job numbers are not revised. So this is just the Fed wanting to look like they know what they're doing, okay? So if we miraculously put in 2.3, I mean, look, if we put in lower than that, this market's gonna go to the top of the collar, and then you're gonna have a stock market crash like you've never seen of $60. I'm down with that too, okay? So let's quickly look. Monday, we got a bunch of Fed speakers. They're not gonna wanna crash the market. We'll probably go higher. Then we got some Japanese data. This could be a huge catalyst. Kugler, blah, 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 blah. Tuesday, Bostic, Collins, nothing huge. Down for a chop day pullback. Wednesday, more Fed speakers. A lot of Fed speakers. FOMC minutes probably gonna chop until then, and then we get a spike that probably fades. Japanese data. I mean, look out for Bank of Japan this week. This is gonna be huge, okay? I would love a pop. Why? Because as soon as I sell my calls, I take long puts. Question mark is the banks though. So you're gonna probably on Friday see a big rotation, okay? And we got Michigan and this and that, okay? Then we're mid-October. This is gonna get spicy. You're gonna get October surprises coming. It's gonna be craziness. Who knows what it is, but it's just there. Focus on the charts. Look at the, just because the weekly charts look ready to go does not mean that you can't have a few weeks of upside down chop and this and that. But they do tell me we're gonna get one major rally here. Next week, over the last 20 years, has been October's worst year, okay? But who the fuck cares about seasonality right now, since September was supposed to be absolute dog shit and it wasn't. With that said, guys, again, they say buy Rosh Hashanah, sell Rosh Hashanah and buy Yom Kippur. I would not be surprised if it's upside down this year, because I do have a possible trend change for a downturn starting next Friday post CPI. Especially if that CPI move is up, they should fade it, okay? Why? Because it'll be good for the market internals to go higher here and then come down, fade it, and then get going, All right, guys. God bless. And again, if you haven't checked out the moon trading or the moon landing trading course, please do so. God bless, and I'll see you on Monday.
Space Shuttle Atlantis. Mission until resupply and new research on the International Space Station. Atlantis begins its penultimate journey on the International Space Station. Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour.
Welcome, I'm Mr. Moontrain, and this is the Moon Landing Trading Course. I'm coming at you from my garden in Hawaii, and first of all, I want to congratulate you on being here and doing something about your situation. Huge! Now listen up, this is not going to be a regular trading course, but that's why you're here, am I right? Today, we're going to go over the 5 areas every trader needs to master and conquer in order to become successful and profitable.